Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So today was the premiere of Cloak and Dagger. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a quick review on basically just a little bit of what happened and also what we thought. We also have another video coming up of the Cloak and Dagger backstory, so you can check that out a little bit later. As always, if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, what are you doing? No, just kidding. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button and also hit the bell for notifications for every time we do a new video. All right, let's get started.
All right, so episode 1 and 2, more than likely, because there was a 2-hour premiere of Cloak and Dagger aired tonight. And so we're gonna just do a quick little run through of basically everything that happened. And essentially, this episode is an origin story. We kind of get a really, well, not quick because it is 2 hours, a long, basically, in detailed, basically backstory of who these characters are and how they came to be. We kind of start out with both characters simultaneously kind of going back and forth between each, where we find them both at very young ages, and both of them end up having these very traumatic accidents that lead to them not only, you know, accidentally getting powers, but also linking them to each other. Tyrone, who is played by Aubrey Johnson, is actually witnesses his brother being murdered after he steals a radio out of somebody's car and basically tries to dive into this river to save his brother, not knowing that he had already died. At the same time, Tandy Bowen is actually coming home from ballet practice, and her dad and her end up in a car accident that leads to them ending up in the river and basically with no way to escape until they both basically get their powers from this random explosion. And now Tyrone is able to save Tandy with his ability that he just got. Once again, they're probably maybe 6-7 years old at this time. And that's kind of how we're both introduced to both these characters at one time. Mm-hmm. Fast forward a little bit into the future, they're now both in high school. And basically they're both going through these different reactions to the incident that happened to them as a kid. Tandy is now this runaway who is basically making her living by stealing from people and robbing people just so that she can sell money and be as far away from her mother as she can, because her mother has basically gone down this rabbit hole of being an addict. On the flip side, we have Tyrone, though, who is living this very, I guess, good life, considering, you know, what he had to go through at a young age. He has 2 parents that are very well off, and he is now in a private school where, you know, he's on the basketball team, he's in the choir, he's expected to be a really, really good student, but he is still dealing with the effects of his brother's murder, where in the sense he is basically, I would say that he doesn't do a good job of processing his negative emotions. He tries so hard to be the perfect child, of which he thinks his parent is what his parents want, and that leads to him not being able to process things like his sadness or his anger, except in very destructive and outburst ways, which we see by him getting into a fight and during a basketball game, as well as, you know, as he's trying to hunt down the man that murdered his brother, he constantly has these outbursts of rage. While Tandy, on the other hand, constantly has this feeling of constantly needing to run away and avoid situations that are both good or bad for her. Mm-hmm. And basically by doing that, that basically sets up this entire first 2 episodes where we're seeing these characters battle these different things that they're going through. Tyrone with his, you know, emotional distress, and Tandy with her fight or flight type of mentality, and really just wanting to, you know, kind of be by herself and be away from each other. But by them accidentally running into each other at a party, they basically, one, reestablish that connection as well as spark their powers for the first time since they initially got them. And so we see them, once again, deal with their emotional turmoil that they're going through, one, while still trying to really understand and process what powers they have, as well as, I think, even in like the back of their minds, trying to figure out who they are to each other, and really trying to make that connection as far as what they're supposed to mean to one another. Which I think that made the episode really, really good. But I think it also really when watching it, since we did do the video of their backstories, I was definitely able to see some changes and some differences that they were able to kind of put into the show that I think helped the show for the better. One of the biggest differences that you see in the show is kind of, I would say that they flip-flopped the characters' backstories. Yeah, because in the back, like the original comic backstory, Tandy comes from wealth and good living, while Tyrone doesn't. And so I feel like for the show they flip-flop that, and I almost wonder if it's for like social perspective in like modern day, so that it kind of gives.
Well, I mean, in the beginning she did have money, but she lost it. So and it kind of looked like he didn't. So it kind of looked like in the beginning it was correct as far as with the comics, and then they flip-flopped it, which was kind of cool. Yeah,
because it puts them both in different stages of life, and it forces them to actually have these different emotional reactions where, like I said, Tyrone is living a pretty good life, you would think. Right. You know, you're going to a private school, you have two parents that have great jobs, you're on the basketball team, you're doing a lot of good things, but yet it really helps you focus in on the emotional struggle that he has. Whereas Tandy, on the other hand, yeah, she is a runaway. She is going through these different struggles of trying to live on her own. But you can still see the fact that, like, wow, she doesn't know how to just be happy or find happiness, and she's looking for happiness in all the wrong places. Right. So that is one clear difference in the comics. But like I said, I think it helps for the basically like the flow of the show. It keeps you really locked in with each character when they're going through their individual tests and trials, and when they're kind of like on their own individual roads to discovery. Because once again, these are the origin stories. They haven't really grasped their powers really. We even see Tyrone a couple times in this episode try to activate his powers in different situations, and it just doesn't work. While Tandy, on the other hand, I think her powers really kind of just happen without her really wanting them to happen. And since I was just speaking on powers, the other subtle difference in the show versus the comics is that they've added another layer to their abilities. In the comics, Tandy just has the ability to form light daggers or any type of light weapon, I believe, while Tyrone has this ability to basically teleport and basically turn his body into like a vortex where he can kind of transport anything through him, as well as like objects or people. Right. But they've added another level where each of them have the ability to connect with people's emotions. Tandy is able to connect to people's happier emotions through contact, while Tyrone basically highlights their fears and their worst possible thoughts about certain situations. We see Tandy kind of do it twice, once with her mom, where she sees her mom's happiest thought, as well as this guy that was basically helping her out, you know, kind of live on the streets. She's able to
boyfriend-ish type
of thing. And so she's able to see their happiest moments, while Tyrone only has his activate once, and he's able to see, actually no, twice. It is twice. My bad.
What's the other one?
So he's able to connect with his mom to see his mom's greatest fear, and he's also able to connect with the cop and to see, it's not really his fear, but he's able to like kind of see what happened after that cop shot his brother. Okay. And Tyrone is kind of like sitting there, and he's able to see all that. Yeah. So that's another level and another change to the show. But once again, I think I like it because, you know, not saying that their powers aren't interesting on their own, but once again, it provides this connection, this emotional connection to the characters as well as to the supporting characters. You now have a different perspective of the mom, the boyfriend-ish guy, even the cop and Tyrone's mom. You're able to see why they're acting the way they're acting, instead of just trying to imply it. Yeah. Like, it's actually visualized in the episode, which I thought was really, really good, really, really thoughtful. And like I said, it keeps you locked in. It's a 2-hour premiere, but you're just locked in from start to finish. So with all that kind of said, I think for the most part, because it's the first episode, we don't know what other changes they're going to make, but I think it's definitely worth watching, which leads us into the next part of this video, which is like, how did you feel? First episode.
Well, it was juicy, like I said before. No, it was really good. Like, from start to finish, it was really good. I get scared at the premiere shows because I don't like when things start out slow, because I'm kind of just like one of those people where if you don't draw me in within the first 5 minutes, then I'm out.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. Like everything, you kind of get a gist of who both of them are.
Yeah. And I would say that it doesn't start slow. I would say it starts really fast because you're instantly thrown into a chaotic situation.
That really was. That was like chaotic from the start. Like,
and
there was no build up to anything. It was just like, here you go.
Yeah, and I think it does. I thought it kept me like hooked from like beginning to end of both episodes. It's unlike other comic book shows that we probably watch where there's like a lot of action and a lot of fight scenes. Like there's none of that. Like this is straight drama.
Well, it is Freeform. There's not going to be a lot of
right. But no, I'm just saying as far as like the contrast, like what makes this show different than other comic book shows. It has a little bit of the Runaways type of vibe.
Yeah, it really
does. More, I would say it has more drama though. Mm-hmm. Like it's very, very dramatic with, like I said, you have these two characters that have very strong emotions and trauma in their lives, as well as how that trauma has kind of had this ripple effect.
It's kind of like
throughout the episode.
It's kind of like Runaways mixed with Arrow because it's so kind of dramatic.
Yeah. So far we haven't seen any real fight scenes. There's nothing like that. But if you like a drama and it has like, a good story, like Cloak and Dagger, I think is going to be something that you're really going to enjoy as the season kind of unfolds.
They definitely put it on the right channel. It's definitely geared towards like 20 somethings.
20 and under, 25 and under probably, 28 and under. We're
definitely
we're
not
close to
25.
30, but
more like 28.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely.
But it's still good. We still liked it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the actors are great. Aubrey Johnson, this is the first time I've ever seen him in anything, anything, period. It's his really, I think, first really big leading role in a show. Olivia Holt, who plays Tandy Bowen, she's kind of been in the spotlight. She was on, she started in the Disney XD show Kicking It. So she was on that show for a while. So it is a transition. It's obviously a transition from a kid-friendly show to a more serious drama. But there are two actors that they carry their roles, and everything that they go through in the first 2 episodes, you believe. Everything feels natural and organic, and you feel for these characters, even though they're going through very different things. Like I said, I felt for Tyrone because I can understand that pressure of wanting to be this good kid, wanting to be this team player and everything, but having that kind of forced on you, like you're supposed to act this way. Which he even confronts his mom about, where it's like you want me to be perfect, and it's like it goes against how he's sometimes feeling in certain times and periods throughout the show. So I'm really looking forward to how his character grows, just individually. I'm not even really looking forward to the team up, to the superpower team up or anything. I'm looking forward to seeing how these characters kind of grow and mature as the season kind of unfolds. So I really can't wait until the next episode.
Me too. So we're both on board for the show. Yay.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of feel like if you like Teen Wolf, you'll like this show.
I think if you like dramas, period.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the other things that makes this show really good,
it's very dramatic,
versus other superhero shows, is that it's a drama with superpowers in the background. It's not so much visual effects and superpowers in your face. It's no, there's this whole dramatic
but we don't know yet because
we don't know how it's going to evolve. But right now, I think it has a really good balance.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
I'm really excited.
We'll be doing these videos every week when the show comes out. It airs on Thursday nights at 8 p.m.
Yes.
So if you have Freeform, check it out.
Yes.
If you don't, find a way to stream it. Find a way.
Get the Fire Stick.
We are not encouraging bootlegging, but we're just saying you need to find a way to view the show, because it really seems like it's going to be worth watching. So that's going to wrap it up for us for this video. Please leave, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of the first episode. If there's anything that you saw that you're just like, wow, this really caught me, this really shocked me, or anything that you think, kind of happening with the show going forward. But that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll see you guys later. Peace.